Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Outside of doing our little wonderful Doctor Who reviews of When Who Was Good on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, we really haven't talked a lot about Doctor Who on this channel. Well, because it's been off the air and there hasn't really been a lot of updates other than speculation that after season 2 there probably won't be a season 3 and it'll probably end up going on hiatus for quite a while considering the abysmal bad low ratings. Well, if you thought the Christmas special was going to be any better than a lot of the other kind of nonsense garbage that we've had in the past, well, guess what, boys and girls? Fooled you, because yes, it's just as bad as all of the rest of the episodes out there. And then the best part is it has achieved an absolute record, ladies and gentlemen, because if you want to go out there and say that the Doctor Who series right now is great and wonderful and you just absolutely love it, by all means, that is fine. Enjoy what you enjoy. I don't mind at all, but you cannot deny in any way, shape, or form the ratings have been an absolute disastrous dumpster fire. And guess what, boys and girls, over there for the latest edition of the Christmas episode, it is not good either, because as you can see here from the headline over at Fandom Pulse, Joy to the World posts lowest all-time ratings for a Doctor Who Christmas special as fans continue to reject LGBTQ Nakuti Gatwa Doctor. And as a friendly reminder, boys and girls, this is Disney Doctor Who, because Disney paid for this, all the hundreds of millions of dollars they have wasted on 2 seasons, a bunch of anniversary specials, and of course now a Christmas special to boot, and it has gotten them zero return on investment. And why? Why is it doing so bad? Why is the Christmas special getting so much backlash? Well, not only are we going to highlight what John Trent has over here to highlight, well, Fandom Pulse has to highlight as well, but look at this. We've got an article over here from gbnews.com. BBC Doctor Who fans fume over woke Christmas Day episode as Partygate referenced so political. So not only are they injecting all of the LGBTQ alphabet soup nonsense into the show as well, but they're also interjecting politics from Great Britain itself in the modern era. And if that's something that you love in your escapism, by all means enjoy it. But considering the fact that escapism by definition is supposed to get you away from the reality of the actual world, well, needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, this is not what the majority of people out there, and based on these numbers alone, that is an absolute fact. And although there is a little comment in here that maybe a little people over in the UK are a little upset with, but to a certain degree, I actually kind of agree with. And I'm going to show you that shocking moment when we get to that just in a little bit. But before we get into all of these juicy details, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. We're inching our way closer and closer to 1,500 over here on YouTube and almost 1,100 over there on Rumble. So please, if you haven't already, make sure you follow and subscribe to us down below. And let us know what you think about all this. Did you actually give the Doctor Who Christmas special a shot out there? Or are you like the hundreds of millions of other fans out there that have completely and totally tuned out and tuned off of this show? Did you enjoy the Christmas special? If you did watch it, let us know what are some of the reasons why you're avoiding the current modern Dr. Disney Who, the Neo Disney Who out there that we currently have going on. Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description as well. All right, so we're going to start over here with Fandom Pulse, getting all the juicy numbers as well. And then, of course, we'll jump over to what some of the people over there in Great Britain are going to say about this show. And then, of course, jump back into some of the other highlights that over here at Fandom Pulse has got to some of the reasons why there's a bunch of nonsense garbage. And it's the exact same kind of LGBTQ nonsense that we got from the 60th anniversary specials and that we've seen through all of Disney Doctor Who. So Doctor Who reached new rating lows with Joy to the World, as the Stephen Moffat written special attained the lowest ratings for a Christmas special in Doctor Who history. The current iteration of Doctor Who has been mirrored with controversy ever since Russell T Davies took the helm with the trilogy of the 60th anniversary specials. And honestly, I thought after Chris Chibnall, things couldn't possibly get any worse. I was really excited when we heard that Russell T Davies was coming back. But I guess what? Russell T Davies' LGBTQ nonsense and his own personal beliefs decided to matter more than actual good storytelling. And that's very, very obvious from everything that we've seen out of the show so far. So despite bringing back David Tennant, those specials were filled with identity politics, signaling to call Tennant a male-presenting doctor. Yes, it's an actual line. While walking around with a new transgender calling himself Rose, and even went so far as to cast Sir Isaac Newton, a historical figure, as an Indian man. I mean, literally, is there any more checkboxes they could have possibly ticked? I don't know. Let us know in the comments down below if there's another checkbox they could have possibly ticked with those episodes. Ratings on the 60th anniversary specials were already the lowest on record for Doctor Who specials, with viewership at 5 million, 4.8 million, and the final, The Giggle, only receiving 4.6 million. You notice a trend here? You notice a pattern, how it just keeps going down and down and down? Yeah. That's kind of what you're going to continue seeing. With With a new doctor in Ncuti Gatwa. I know that irritates some of you little freaks out there, so I know it's Shooty, but I don't care. We're going to call him Ncuti. Ncuti Gatwa, the Christmas special that followed these, The Church on Ruby Road, saw a small uptick to 4.7 for its ratings, but the audience quickly turned out as each new of the season 1 episodes, as they branded this new Disney Plus iteration, received many of the lowest ratings in Doctor Who history as well. I mean, literally, yeah, here they got the right. Like, they literally had the lowest episode in history. And the only episode that did, I guess, well out of the entire season was an episode strictly about Ruby and almost had the Doctor in it almost not at all in the entire episode. So yeah, clearly Ncuti Gatwa is the problem. So the lowest came with episode 7 of the 8-episode season, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, posting a dismal 2.05 million for the overnight ratings. The finale saw a small uptick again, but the trend is clear. Audiences are not interested in the gay black doctor who constantly lectures them on identity politics. Now the new Christmas special, Joy to the World, is reported to have the lowest overnight ratings for a Christmas special, yet again with 4.11 million, according to Doctor Who TV. It's not like we're pulling these numbers out of our wazoo. It's literally according to Doctor Who TV. The episode takes a character named Joy and gives a twist to the biblical story of the Star of Bethlehem in a new Stephen Moffat episode. Oh, color of shock there, ripping off another story that we've seen before. The Doctor goes to a place called the Time Hotel, which allows tourists to go to different time points in history for their stay. A briefcase contains the essence of a new star, which is being placed back in time, and the Doctor has to get it there before it destroys Earth. The episode is filled with identity politics, again, with the Doctor attacked in the middle of the episode for mansplaining, with a term used multiple times. Another scene shows that asks the Doctor if he has a boyfriend, and it's revealed that on the Orient Express, Traveler Female is writing love letters to a female companion to further push the evil LGBTQ agenda, because of course everybody in the show has to be gay, 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 gay. Of course it is, because apparently Russell T Davies is working out some kind of his own personal issues and has to put it all inside of the screen. But guess what? It's not just all the LGBTQ alphabet soup mafia, because it's not the only issue. It's not the only politically charged messaging that was in his show, because as you can see, BBC Doctor Who fans fume over woke Christmas Day episode as Partygate referenced so political. So, however, viewers were left baffled by a number of political references made in the episode, including the Partygate scandal. Actress Nicholas Colon made a special appearance as Joy in the installment, but her character soon infuriated fans when Joy made a subtle dig at former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. In an emotional scene, Joy explained to the Doctor how her mother had died on Christmas Day. I had to say goodbye to her through an iPad because of the rules. Now, here's one situation. I am an staunch against all of those lockdown kind of people, so I honestly am kind of okay with this dig, but at the exact same time, I get it because it has to do with Boris Johnson. It had to do with that particular, with the quote-unquote conservative party in England over there, which of course we know is nothing like the conservative party here in the United States. So needless to say, I'm totally okay with them calling out the lockdowns, but of course they're only doing it because it was a particular party that was in charge at the time that did it. Even though every country on the planet did it, doesn't matter what side of the aisle you were on, every country did some form of this outside of like Sweden. So literally it's one of them situations where, yeah, we get that, but we know the only reason they're doing it is because they're taking a dig at the conservative party. If the Labor Party would have been in charge, they would have never made this joke, not a chance in hell. So the Doctor responded, I bet you're good at obeying the rules. She died on Christmas Day, Joy continued. She died on her own because of the rules. And all those awful people with their wine fridges, their dancing, and their parties, and I listened to them. I let my mother die alone, she reflected. And it's one of those situations where we called out Governor Gavin Newsom out there in California for doing the exact same thing. They had some of the strictest lockdowns out there, and of course he was out there partying as well. So I get the idea of doing this, but I guarantee you if this was in the United States, they would not be taking digs at these people because of who was in charge. They're strictly doing it for political biases. So needless to say, this didn't go over very well with a lot of the fans out there. Taking to social media, some expressed their annoyance, with one writing, okay, did not expect this to become about COVID. Doctor Who isn't Doctor Who anymore. Doctor Who, Joy to the World is full of woke. Third said, for fuck's sake, Doctor has gone mega woke on Christmas Day. I'm sorry, huge fan of Doctor Who, but this is so woke and political. Not a Proctor Doctor Who story at all. How woke can Joy get? Just happened to have a mother who was in the hospital and Joy could only FaceTime with her because of the rules, and then she died with people dancing. Doctor Who argued a fifth. Yet more woke BBC Disney bullshit from Doctor Who. Can we just go back to stories without political bullshit? And I completely agree. That's what all of us want. That's the biggest problem of all of this kind of stuff. We are sick and tired of this nonsense. Escapism is supposed to be escapism. Doctor Who is supposed to be all about wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey monsters and aliens and going out there and stopping, the evil out there in the world from destroying innocent lives and taking over planets and blowing things up and sucking out the resources, and regardless of the reactions. Like, that's what Doctor Who is supposed to be all about. And instead, interjecting real-world politics in it is just never going to work because it completely and totally breaks the immersion of the Doctor Who universe you're in. And I think this fandom pulse here sums it up pretty well. Viewers have shown they're sick of the politics, though Russell T. Davies has given interviews spinning it to pretend it's a good thing. Davies stated, reported to the Radio Times, I'm coming back. I wanted to make simpler. And of course, the under 16s. Oh, our identity of politics are going to the under 16s. You know, those people that don't have any money, the people that don't actually buy any of your merchandise, the people that don't go up there and brag about your show and then they talk about it to anybody else. Yeah, all of those folks. And it turns out that guess what? Even if you are supposedly increasing your numbers under those younger demographics by going all identity politics and woke LGBTQ alphabet soup nonsense, guess what? You're turning off the rest of the world because the rest of the world understands the damages and destructions that this kind of ideology, especially forced into what is supposed to be a family-friendly show out there, is going to end up causing a lot of breaks of immersion. And then you add on top of it, you put real-world politics from the United Kingdom itself into the show. Well, guess what? You're going to piss off a whole portion of the United Kingdom's folks out there as well. You know, it's one of them situations where it's not a good idea to completely and totally ostracize one side of the political aisle just because you think it's an easy pot shot to take. And guess what? So not only because of all of the identity politics the majority of us can't stand in any way, shape, or form, they decided to go so far as to take a dig at the political system over there in the United Kingdom. Not only is that going to get completely and totally missed by a lot of people out there in the rest of the world, but it's going to intentionally go after and target a very specific demographic and a very specific party inside the United Kingdom. But that's how it always ends up going. We know how this goes. They attack one side, but they don't ever attack both sides. It's all LGBTQ alphabet soup propaganda. It's making a gay doctor going out there, trying to go out there and have romances, going to check out guys that are hot. They turn David Tennant's reincarnation of the doctor into, oh, maybe I think he's attracted to guys too. I mean, it was just over the head, nonstop propaganda. And guess what? The fans are sick and tired of it. All of the real Whovians out there cannot stand this garbage. Any of you woke Disney Neo Who fans out there, whatever the hell they're calling you guys, little freaks out there, well, guess what? Whovians United cannot stand this garbage. And these numbers continue to prove that over and over again. You can argue and scream all day long in my comments how much you love watching the doctor get ready to suck some dick. But guess what? At the end of the day, the majority of the audiences don't want it. And if you don't have the vast majority of people out there watching your show, it doesn't pay the bills. And considering the $300 million that Disney spent on this, and considering how broke Disney is right now, well, guess what? Your second season isn't going to get any better ratings, and by the third, it's not going to happen. This show is headed for one direction and one direction only: cancellation and hiatus. And honestly, at this point, considering the state of Doctor Who overall, especially Disney and Doctor Who, that is probably the best thing for it. And with ratings like this, why would you go any other direction? Guess what, Russell T. Davies? We'd hope you'd be the savior for Doctor Who, and it turns out you're just another villain. These ratings are your fault. You did it to yourself, and now you're getting exactly what you deserve. Burn, Disney Doctor Who, burn. You're getting exactly what you deserve. Dance with the devil, and that's what you get.